So here we go.
As the year draws to a close, this is a good time to...
Are you being productive? Have you been able to write a lot? No, Deja. I was productive at work, and I wrote a news story, and I wrote 5 scenes from it. So, I mean, that was productive at work, I guess, right?
do some self-reflection and analyze, okay, what worked well in my writing life this last year? Now, the reason why we're looking backwards is really so we can look forwards, right? We're trying to look to the future and figure out what can I change for next year in order to be a better writer, in order to write more, in order to write better, in order to help my career flourish. So I'm gonna do a video soon on writing goals, and I'll link to that when it comes out, but for at least...
That's something. What are you working on now? Well, we're still working on Kyle Clones. I'm just working on 2 stories at once. And we're going to be working on 3 stories at once because there's a new competition that came out. Because cake.
For this video, we need to look backwards at this previous year and look at what went well this year for you, what went badly, and what can you change. What I'm going to do is walk you through 14 questions that you should be asking yourself to figure out how this last year went, right? Because if we don't ask ourselves these questions, it's really easy to fall in ruts and just do the same exact thing year after year after year.
You want to evolve, you want to expand, you want to always be in a better position than you were yesterday. Remember, guys, what is it? I think it's 1% increase every day over a year is not 365% increase. It is a compounded 3,066%. Do you remember the midwife's tale I wrote? Since I didn't use it in the contest, I'll try to explain it into something, expand it into something. Yes, I remember, Deja. I remember. You didn't use it in the contest? How is the contest, by the way, Deja? Is it still ongoing? Did you get the results back, or what's going on with that?
And you're really spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere. So let's start with...
And if you know a good place to find writing competitions and stuff, it's something we want to start promoting in the community on Twitter, is like writing competitions and hosting our own and creating our own competitions. I have questions. I have questions too, Callie. What does chocolate malt taste like? Your mom.
Question number 1. What was the best risk you took as a writer?
Ooh. What was the best risk you took as a writer last year? Expanding into reading more despite not having the time. That may sound counterintuitive, but that's definitely what I did. Submission closed on July 31st. Now it's time to wait for the results. Fingers crossed. Hell yeah.
Last year. Now, a risk could be anything from starting a new novel, to writing in a different genre, to joining a new writing group. You have to figure out what were the places where you stepped out and tried something new this year, something that felt a little bit risky to you. And then what I want you to do...
Reading other people's work because of the contrast, and seeing my work and saying how shit my work is compared to other people. Right? I've tried Milo, that chocolate milk powder by Nestle.
Is to ask yourself, did I take enough risk this year? Because what I find when I talk to writers is often they're playing it a little bit safe. You know, they're writing...
I mean, we published... we started actually full-on editing stuff. Not just basic, but like full editing, like hardcore, spending more time editing than writing. What else could I do for risks? I just don't... The problem is I just don't have time.
In genres that they know really well.
And I write in every genre. I've been doing the same thing with short stories. But I've been doing more... I'm gonna focus on writing for about 30 minutes. I'll be right back. Alright, sounds good, Deja. There's something about... I guess... comparing your work to other people, right? There's positives and negatives about that. You have to have a mindset about it.
So after you identify those areas in your writing life over the last year where you did take some sort of risk, then it's probably time to look forward and be like, okay,
exactly
what do I want to
that.
do for this next year? How can I take risks?
A green package with a soccer player on it. Does Milo taste like chocolate soccer? I love both chocolate and soccer. I'm here for it.
In this upcoming year to make my writing life even better. I mean, go ahead. Think of reading double the amount of books that you read last year, or starting a new book club. Or
yeah, I never thought I would write like 30 short stories. So I guess the risk would be like saying, oh, we could write 50 short stories this year. Yeah, I think we could actually write 50. But we've been lately, like since Cryogen, Duart, Chiral Clones, and Ghost Mentor, we are really putting the effort to make these full-on real stories as opposed to like, you know, excerpts. Like, these are like 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 word stories, not 1,000, 2,000 word stories, right? So they're a lot more developed and open and expansive. So that's what we're trying to do, and that's basically probably the biggest risk. Actually might have been going from smaller stories, so it actually might have been going from 1,000 to 2,000 word stories to 5,000 to 10,000 word stories. Because then we get into the editing. It tastes more like that, yes. I already read that. I'm retarded.
Think about trying to write a book that is very ambitious, that you're not sure you can actually pull off. That's a very risky move.
Yeah, if I'd started writing it before, it would be. Okay, here's how I imagine it. Chocolate malt is made by taking really well-made chocolate-flavored bread and using it to play soccer on a field covered in chocolate frosting until the bread is completely covered in a delicious frosting layer. Callie, I love the way that your mind works, bro. Dude, Callie, that would be an amazing commercial. Like an animated commercial of like... You're fucking creative. He is! Callie is so... I thought I was creative, but Callie, damn, Callie's creative.
What was the best dollar you spent on writing?
Oh, shit. Here we go. What was the best dollar you spent on writing last year? I'm not quite sure about this. Gonna pitch to Nestle. True, that's that's amazing, Callie. That's such a crazy good commercial.
This last year. Did you go to a conference? Did you hire an editor? Did you join a writing group? Did you pay for an online course? Did you hire a nanny so you actually had time to write? I mean, I don't know. Whatever it is,
I bought my viewers'
my money
book
on writing this year. Maybe your wrist was really hurting from writing, so you bought like a carpal tunnel wrist protractor.
Stealing my idea is okay. I give you the rights to it.
Or something. It doesn't have to be anything profound, but I think it's really useful to think about where you're allocating your funds, even if you have very few funds, right? I mean, if you're going to the used library book sale and buying books and those
I have like a $50 a year fund. But I mean, hey guys, we're getting like $22 to $23 a month from streaming. Can you guys believe that? That is fucking insane. $23 a month. Like, holy shit. I never would have imagined.
Books end up inspiring you to write your novel, then that's money well spent. And as an exercise, what I want you to do is to think, how can I spend money in a different way or a more effective way in this upcoming year? And once again, the amount of money doesn't matter, right? This could be $50 we're talking about for the year, or it could be $10,000 we're talking about. I don't know your situation, but what I'm encouraging us to do is to think of money as a means by...
Callie, buying yours and Sinister's book was the best money I've spent this year. Hands fucking down. And I had to buy lighters and weed. Think about that.
which you can improve your writing career. And if you really want to develop as a writer, then you have to be devoting some kind of money to it, right? It can't be completely budgetless.
Yeah.
Maybe you just want to save up some money so that you can buy a good cover designer when you publish your book. That's great, right? So you could be, I want to save for when I do publish. Maybe you're saving up.
I'm someone's boss now, guys. How much do I pay my employees? Am I a fun boss or like the guy from The Office, or my brain just stopped working? Callie, you would be a fun boss, but you wouldn't take shit. You would be like, I know exactly what you're doing. Stop it or get out. Do 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 do. Yeah, I know. Those butterflies are great, aren't they? Don't forget to smell the flowers, guys. Always take 5 minutes to step back and smell the flowers. That's how I imagine you as a boss, Callie. Just looking down on them like, you know what you did, don't do it again. I see you. Don't think I don't see you.
Money for a copy editor or something like that, or maybe saving up money for advertising. I don't know, whatever it is, come up with a plan for how you can spend.
For me at this point, I'm most willing to spend my money on advertising, but I'm like, advertising for YouTube and Twitch, how the fuck do you do that, right? That's not a territory I'm in. I can do advertising for the book, but like the social media and like being a streamer part, that's, I don't know how to market that. I just use the writing to try and pull and use that as a draw to, you know, make people interested and give something enticing to say and talk about and topics and, you know, create a medium for people who are creatives who feel that, like, there's no space that allows their creative freedom or looks down on them for some reason. Because I find a lot of fucking communities are just goddamn gatekeeping bastards. I'm like, I want an open, free community. Just don't be a piece of shit. You know? That's super simple. You can be Smokey all you want. It's fucking hilarious. Don't be Zoinko. Don't be Valiant Boy, right? Talks, whatever you do, I'll do, so we can compare our results. Except for streaming, I'm too scared. I thought you were gonna start streaming, Callie. You're still too scared? That's okay, bro.
In a way that helps your writing career. The third question that I want you to ask yourself is, where did you spend your time wisely last?
All right. Wait, what is this? Where did you spend your time wisely last year? Very wisely spent on streaming and pushing my video editing and promoting and advertising side. I would do it if I had a VTuber. Well, you're talking to the right person, Shaw. I want a VTuber. There you go, Callie. Be a VTuber. That would be fucking awesome. I know. A lot, like, honestly, guys, I would have been a VTuber, but I literally started the channel as a makeup channel. And I was going to do beauty and makeup and cross-dressing and, like, fashion. But I just really had no passion for it. Like, I like dressing up. I like putting on makeup. I like prettying myself. But I'm not dedicated to it. It's just something I do for fun. Writing. Oh boy, no, writing is where my passion lies. As soon as I found that, I was like, oh, the stream is fucking set. Let's go. You're pretty anyway, Scotty. Oh, I know. But I don't know. I like the feeling of it. I just like it. I understand why women do it. No worries. You know, it is what it is. And like I used to do it more, but now I'm like, I just. It's so much work. And I feel like it takes up so much time in the stream. And I don't want to do it before the stream. I want to do it on stream. So we decided on Werewoman. It is now lore that on the full moon I turn into a woman. So it is a Werewoman stream once a month. And that's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Hot nerd.
And what I mean is,
There you go, Callie. What about that?
Was there a particular month when you got a ton of writing done? Great. Okay, so what I want you to do is figure out what were the
the best time we spent: scene, construction, research, and practice, and editing, practice, and research. That's basically where I think we improved the most. What were the conditions? Putting my mind to it. What were the conditions that allowed you to be so productive that month? Having someone else hold me accountable. I.e. the stream. You guys. It's you guys.
Conditions that allowed you to be so productive that month? And can you replicate those conditions?
As well as finding the right moment in my development to move from being comfortable putting my ideas on paper to refining those ideas to be presentable. That's important.
And do that again in this upcoming year. Did you go on a writing retreat somewhere, even if it's in like a friend's closet somewhere, just to get away a little bit from life so you're in a new environment and you can actually concentrate on the book you want to write? Do you feel like you devoted enough time to reading this last year, right?
That was the big one, guys, is reading.
Out of which your own books will grow. So if you're not putting enough fertilizer in your imagination, it's often difficult to know the right moves when it comes to writing your own novel. And I think it's also useful to think about the opposite of this question. Not where you spent your time wisely, but also where you squandered your time this year. Did you devote too much time to social media, or to video games, or to watching television and movies?
Asmongold!
And there's nothing wrong with any of these things, right? You just want to evaluate your own life.
Too much Asmongold.
Here's how I'm using my time. Does that reflect my actual priorities? If you say like, oh, I really want to publish
it's really
a book,
bad.
and yet the amount of time you're devoting to it is minuscule.
But I use Asmon as a means of like improving the stream. Like, I take all the tips he gives. I use his format and his structure and his understanding of streaming to further my understanding. He's basically a mentor in disguise to me.
Then do you really have a goal to publish?
And that's why I can turn a 12-minute video into a 3-hour react.
Book, or is it more like a dream or a wish? And once again, once you evaluate your time over this last year, you can figure out how you want to differently allocate your time.
I'm taking time off work to fucking write, so I can write off stream and do stuff off stream, as opposed to like 2 or 3 days a week. I have like 6 to 8 hours where I can actually work on something, because I spend most of the other time catching up on the sleep that I didn't get for those 5 days that I did work. Speaking of which, this is supposed to be like a really, really short stream, guys. So we were supposed to be done like an hour ago, but we're not done yet. And I work early and I don't care. We're getting through this.
Time for the next year. Question number 4. How
fucking ads. I'm like, cough, damn it, cough. Get it out of the way. Gotta be like, testing. Fuck. Alright. Okay. I guess we paused on the right one. 4. How did you develop friendships with other writers this year? So how did we develop friendships with other writers this year? I forgot what we were talking about. I was going to say something as we went into ads, but it doesn't matter anymore. I don't think. Fuck it. The stream. I made friends with you guys. Social media.
How did you develop friendships with other writers this year?
Discord.
Listen, these could be online relationships, they could be
True.
in-person relationships, but it's absolutely key for your writing life to develop friendships, a network of people that you can trust to give feedback on your book, that you can reach out to when you need a blurb, that provides a community of fellow writers to buoy you up during those dark nights of the soul. Man, one of my best writing friends I met on Twitter, right? We just started corresponding on Twitter, and guess what? We've been friends for 15 years now. So some of it's serendipity, right? You just happen into a friendship and voila. But it's really, really key to put yourself out there and to be trying to build friendships. For another friend of mine, we originally met because I posted a review of his book on my blog, and it was a very glowing review. I really enjoyed it. He reached out, said thanks for the review. Hey, do you want to meet up? Because I'm going to be in your area. That was like 10 years ago. We've kept in contact. We've helped each other out at conferences and whatnot. That's the way that writing friendships develop. And I should also say that sometimes friendships come from out of the blue emailing an author. If you read a book that isn't a super famous book, but more of like a mid-tier or small press book or something, the author would love it if you emailed them. And guess what? Sometimes a friendship develops out of that. And if nothing happens of it, then that's fine too, right? This is.
I had a friend, she was a huge reader. She had like thousands of books on Kindle. She would literally like email every single author, and she had like 30 or 40 like pretty good like the author, I can't remember his name, who wrote Hearthstone series. She like emailed him for like 3 or 4 years. Just talking about the book, creativity, the ideas, inspirations. She wasn't a writer, but she just loved creativity and stuff. We'd always bounce ideas back and forth.
Transactional. At least you told an author you love their book, and that brightened their day. 5. What did you do last year that you need to stop? Every writer has some bad habits, and maybe you're thinking about yours right now. It could be that you're super jealous of someone who was in your writing group and went on to big success and
You're a
six-figure
lazy
deals and movies and voila.
fat ass.
Stewing in anger, thinking,
Stop
why
being
couldn't that be
a
me? I
lazy
think I'm a better
piece
writer
of
than they
shit.
are. Maybe you need to cut down on self-criticism. Is there a voice inside your head telling you, I'm a terrible writer, I'm a terrible writer, I'm a terrible writer? You need to figure out a way to silence that voice and speak into your talents as an author.
This would be good for
whatever
book.
Your error
The inner
is, like, you
cheerleader.
need to be able to name it and say, look, I need to stop doing this if I'm going to flourish as a writer.
True.
And a great idea is to create like a swear jar where you create a jar and every single time you make that mistake, you put $1 in there. And then later on you say, I'm going to use this money to do what? Like go to a writing conference, buy a writing course, something like that. 6, what was the best advice about writing?
Ooh, this one's good. What was the best advice about writing that you received this year? That's a hard one. I think there's like top 3. Okay, I think the character one. I think honestly the character one, that's like the psychology of your character comes from their past. So asking the questions, what did they want to be when they were young? Like what do they want to grow up and be? What was their relationship with their family? What was their means of growing up? Like, this will establish their education level. This will establish any kind of trauma that they've had. This will establish familial connections. This will establish like things that the character's interested in. Because it's like, look at the things that happen to them in this thing and say, okay, we'll pick one of them and be like, this is something they're interested in. So it just gives you a way to start and a structure for looking at the personality and psychology of a character so that you can easily set yourself into that mindset. I think that's probably the best advice I've gotten about all of writing, over all of everything. There are a couple contenders, but I think for like character creation, that is like the most potent one. And another thing is, like, you can notice how the character changes from their backstory and their background into their character, and then you can take that and remold that into a new character, and it gives it, like, your character more depth, because it looks like they've changed multiple times, which is what people do, right? So, I don't know about you guys, but that's probably the best advice
that you received this year.
What about you guys? What's your guys' best advice?
If you can't,
what have you guys learned from the stream over this period of time that is stuck with you and really stood out and helped you write? Not just like motivation stuff, but like actual techniques or something like that you learned.
One, then either you're not getting any instruction about writing, which is a problem. Hopefully all of you are watching this video, so maybe you think of one of my videos as being good advice that you received this year.
What's actually really funny is that one piece of advice I got from a TikTok. It wasn't even something that he did, which is funny because there's only like 3 pieces of advice that I haven't like gotten from him, and the most important one wasn't even from him that I consider, because of how much it's changed how I'm looking at the stories.
I hope. But if you are receiving advice about writing and yet nothing springs to mind, I think the problem is you are not reflecting enough on the wisdom that you receive. And so a good way to solve this problem is to start a writing journal. A writing journal is simply a journal.
That's kind of what we're doing here with these notes and stuff, and that's why we turn them into the like picture slideshows, because we take on random notes while we're streaming, right? And then we structure those into what they actually should be, and then we present those in a way that's understandable in either examples of my book or other books.
Devoted solely to advice about writing. Something that you heard, something that you read, something that you realized when you were watching a movie that teaches you how to write better fiction. And a writing journal is key because not only does it help you remember that thing better when you write it down, you'll also be able to look through it and go back and realize, oh wow, look at all the stuff I realized this year. Look how far I came over this last year. And
guys, you want to see how far we've come? This isn't even all of them. That's a lot of notes. That's more notes than I took in the entirety of the school education that I took. The entirety of my school education, and I've taken more notes this year just on writing.
I learned. 7, what was your biggest writing success? I am a firm believer in naming your successes. If you don't name your success, well,
sold
for one, you can get disappointed, right? You'll be like, my career is a disaster, da da da.
We sold
Instead
books.
Of focusing on, okay,
we're hitting the double digits sometimes
really
on
success,
streams,
like
guys.
Double
fucking digits. That's insane. That's fucking mind blowing. Like, what the fuck? I'm so happy. It's crazy.
Okay, that's not a small success. That's actually a big success.
It's fucking huge.
Your success is, you need to name.
Do you want to read the enlargement of the text, and if you can help me with the direction or where I can enlarge it more? I'm not sure what you mean, Deja. In your story? Read the enlargement of the text. I don't know what you mean by read the enlargement of the text.
Those things to be like, this is what I did this year. Maybe you met a new writing friend. Maybe you read a bunch of books that inspire your novel. Maybe
we
you
did a
published your book
fuckload
and got
this year,
feedback
guys.
from readers.
Yeah,
I always love hearing from readers. That's such an encouraging thing.
That's why I do it, because I know what it feels like.
Your top 5 writing successes this last year. Then you can figure out, okay, do I want to go further with all those successes in this upcoming year? Or do I want to maybe change registers and work on a different
increase? Okay, I know there's a language barrier here, but I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say. Yeah, I know you're struggling there, Deja, so I'm trying to figure this out too. Do you mean the size of the text on like Google Docs? Oh, you took your text and you made it, okay, you expanded it. That's okay, yeah. See, English is really hard, the short story to something bigger. Yes. English is a hard language when there's no context. Because enlargement of the text also like makes sense when you're thinking about like expanding the text from like an excerpt to a story, from a scene to multiple scenes, from multiple scenes to multiple chapters. No, don't worry about it, Deja. English is a fucking hard language. I totally understand. But yeah. Yes, I want to read it. I do want to read it, Deja. I really do.
Thing to find success in this year. Number 8, what was your biggest writing failure this last year? It could be that you just didn't devote any time to writing.
Guys, you know what our biggest failure is? That we know that sex sells, so we sold this book. We knew we could at least get one sale from this book, right? You know what's really fucking sad? This was my masterpiece, my baby, my love, my everything. Didn't sell a single copy. Even when it was free. Didn't sell a single copy. It's forgettable. Alright, learn. We have to write smut. When we've written enough smut, we can do this. But this has proven to be sellable. Scary thought, right? Sucks, but that's the way it is.
Book. It could be that you didn't read enough. It could be that you started going to a group and then stopped going because you were too afraid to show people your work. It could be that you didn't go to a conference. Now, I understand there's all sorts of different times when you can't get away
not good enough.
for one reason.
Advertising wasn't good enough. Nothing was good enough.
It could be any sort of thing that gets in the way, right? Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. But you need to identify for yourself, where did you fall short this last year? What didn't go well? And what do you want to change for this upcoming year? Do you want to keep plugging away at the same book, or do you want to pivot and try something different?
Time does not equal effort.
Well, I have an easy solution for that. Read the
Consistency
Linchpin Writer.
does not
Still, I think if you
equal
name
frequency.
your failures over this last year, it'll go a long way.
Left the text on docs. Alright, when we're done this video, I will read it.
And helping you avoid making those same mistakes for the upcoming year. 9, what was your most pleasurable reading experience this year? I think you want to identify this for a few different reasons. 1, figuring out what gives you the most pleasure tells you the type of books you should be writing. Often what you...
Book's not here, but sorry, Callie. It was reading book story. Because it's so dark, it's so fucked up. Now, when I'm done reading Into the Nightmares, Callie, even with, like, Be the Music, it's fucked up, but, like, it's fucked up in its own way, but Books is just so psychologically dark and, like, tormented, and I don't know, there's something about that to me that's, like, the calling of like breaking and degrading a character down into nothing through circumstance, and it's just the utter weight of reality bearing down on their back. circumstance after circumstance after circumstance, forcing them into their own shell and basically reducing them to nothing. And I love that kind of psychology because it's a powerful tool to, if you have the mental fortitude, to contrast with yourself and be like, man, I am so lucky I don't have that. Right? But for creativity, Callie, it's definitely yours. But books, just because dark, fucked up, and terrible is where I dwell. But Nightmares seems to be like that too. So once I'm done Nightmares, it might be Nightmares. I'm only 2 chapters in, and I already think it might be a contender. But I've only read like 4 chapters of books in different variations, right? So it's all over the place.
You enjoy reading the most is what you want to mimic or recreate on the page. 2, I think it's a great strategy to take the book that you enjoyed most and devote a lot of time to it. Take it apart, piece by piece. Figure out how they worked their magic to make you feel those strong emotions. I bet you'll come up with a lot of tips and tricks that you can use in your own writing. And here's a little psychological trick that I like to use. When you are struggling to write, and it could be writer's block, it could be time, it could be any number of reasons, what I want you to do is lie down and take a second to think about the pleasure that you received from a particular story. Close your eyes, just imagine that pleasure. I find, at least, that reminiscing inspires me to want to do that sort of emotional impact in my own.
Like I write so I can create the impact that I want to feel. I'm like, I love this feeling. I want to make people feel this way. And that includes like the downs. Like you have to knock someone down to the ground in order to pick them back up, right? So it's like I want to mold you and twist you and fuck with you, but then in the end you're going to know that it was the only way. It was the only way. And that's the way I think the ending should be. The ending of the story should be the only way the story could end. And if you don't do that, I think you don't do justice to the story itself.
Like, okay, time to get up, time for me to go write. Let's do it. Number 10, what was your worst reading experience this year? Think of the book that you hated this year. I think that's really useful.
I can't say hated, and Sean's not here to defend himself, but of all the things we have read, I think Sean's was the most boring. I really liked the story and like it was really well written and stuff, and I love the idea behind it. But again, it's a genre thing. I'm not a slice of life person. Same with you, Callie. Like yours is kind of half slice of life, so it's like, nah, it's got to be really fun. Like it can have the tiny element of slice of life, but it's got to be like beaten down characters, fucked up world, everything's awry, everything's fucked, nothing ever goes as planned. And things don't necessarily work out, but it's the only way it could be.
To identify. Why didn't you like that book? What can you learn from it? I have been reading cruise ship novels because my novel that I'm sending out to agents is set entirely upon a cruise ship. And I recently read a cruise ship novel. I'm not going to tell you which one it was, but it ended in a very ambiguous, right in the middle of the story type of ending, which I'm not opposed to as a strategy. Like sometimes that really works. For this book, it didn't work. And I looked up the Goodreads reviews and it was dismal.
Oh shit,
really
Tyler!
It was honestly like a pretty great.
Oh shit, thank you for the raid, good sir. Welcome. How is everyone? Today is a fucked up day to the point that we're, 4 hours into the stream and we're not even done the react yet? Big day, guys, big fucking day. But thank you so much. How was the stream, good sir? I know it says it gave you a shout out, but I don't know if you guys can see that. Pretty good? Hell yeah. There you go. Tyler is as well. He is what I was talking about earlier. He is a comedian. he does jokes and stuff like that, which is fucking awesome. I love that shit. He's on that creative one. Want to read choke? At this point, Tyler, I'm just committing. I have to work early. This was supposed to be a short stream, but we're already dedicated, so why the fuck not, bro? Who needs sleep? Fuck sleep. I'll sleep at the fucking customer service desk. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this. So I sent this to Callie. This is me at work, guys. You guys want to see me at work? I hit another streamer friend with a good joke. This is me at work, guys. Where the fuck is it? Okay, it's not in here. Where the fuck is it? Callie, do you know where I put it? Was it in... Oh, there's just... Yeah, you know, not necessarily bring that up. Where's Callie? What is this? Oh, it was probably because it was coming from a Talks. Oh, I have to go on... Maybe I can go on my phone? Hold on, let me post this in the Discord. Hold on, let me post this in pics, because this shit is real. I got a new job as the editor of Trackmania magazine. The next issue is about the skills required to play different styles. Well, it's called the skill issue, and we would love to have you on the cover. Wait, that's amazing. Holy shit, Tyler, that's fucking amazing. Hell yeah, brother. Hit another. That's so good. Congratulations. What did they say? What should it be? What should the cover be? I'm waiting for it. This has got to be good. There, I posted it. That's the whole joke. Ah, damn. No, they have a skill issue. Okay. It's called the skill issue, and we would love to have you on the cover. Yes, okay, now I get it. Now I get it, Tyler. Thank you for that. I'm retarded. You should have put... Because I was expecting them to be in two different... Like, you say the first thing, then you say the punchline. That's why I was confused. Because usually that's how people do it. But yeah, okay, now I get it. That's fucking great. I love it. Shaw, I'm smart. True, same. Oh, where is this? Okay. Guys, this is me at Walmart. Welcome to fucking Walmart, bitches.
Great novel until that ending. And that reading experience and the feedback from other readers really helped me to understand, like, okay, that's not something I want to do with my own book. No ambiguous ending for me. Like, I want to wrap things up. I want to close the storytelling loops and make people feel satisfied with the ending of the story.
See, I'm going to close all the loops, but I'm also going to open one. And then that's going to leave it to the reader's imagination. Because it's too grand and great to describe. Another terrible book I read recently was a Billy Collins collection of poetry. And I realized, oh, okay, like, I like poetry as a genre, but I actually hate Billy Collins. It was like a collection of all the worst cliches you could possibly imagine about poetry. Anyhow, if you identify what went wrong in books that you hated, hopefully it will help you avoid those same mistakes in your own fiction. 11. When did you have the most fun as a writer this year? It could be something as simple and easy as the time you spent sitting at a desk. It was yesterday, guys. That's great. It could be when... It was yesterday, and Tyler, I don't know if you saw this, but Beezus made this for me and Smokey, and it is... I was literally crying. You know how you cried in your clip, Tyler? Well, imagine this. I fucking cried. It was so fucking funny.
You're a fraud! Where's my toke? 700 septillion! You're a fraud. Where's my toke? 700 septillion.
It just gets funnier every. I can fucking watch this on a loop forever. Oh my fucking god, it's so good. Oh, the subtext, the lore, the background, the emphasis, everything. It is the epitome of my fucking stream. Oh my god, so fucking good.
You drew up an outline for a new novel. That was like, it really got you excited. Awesome. It could be time you spent at a conference or a workshop or an online group. Wonderful.
Make that your follow alert. Dude, I didn't even think about that, Tyler. No, I absolutely have to do that. You're right. Oh my god, I have to do that. I've been looking for something forever to make my own. Tyler, oh my god, you've solved everything, bro. Thank you so much. Holy fuck. Yes, that is exactly what we're gonna do, bro.
Like,
exactly what we're gonna do.
What it was for you. I think it's really important to figure out how you experience joy as a writer, because
all you need is a comedian. Exactly, Tyler. Oh my god, looking outside the box, bro. I mean, I've been wanting to change it up for a while, and I wanted something that was personalized, and I didn't want it to be like something about me. I wanted to be something about the stream itself, right? And that is the perfect thing.
tells you going forward how to structure your
My follow alert is goated. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember what it is, Tyler. I'm trying to think. God, I have no fucking idea.
life in a way that gives you more joy. Now, there are certain things you can't avoid, right? Like if you don't enjoy the process of actually writing, I don't know what to do for you there. But I mean, hopefully at some points when you're really in the flow, when you're really going for it, you enjoy that flow. I guess
some random movie, but she says, I just wanted to say that I'm new here, and so far I hate it. Yes, I love it.
What I'm saying with this, though, is not to buy into the myth that the best writers are always brooding and depressed and woe is me sort of perspectives. I would go toward joy, toward pleasure, figure out what you love the most, and do that rather than feeling obligated to do anything else because someone told you you had to write that way or someone told you you had to live the writing life this way. 12, what did you learn about yourself as a writer last year? I think self-knowledge is really important when it comes to the writing life. Well, I mean, self-knowledge is important in all categories. I think it's just really important to have those revelations in your writing life where you learn, oh, this is how I work best. This is what I should do going forward.
Structure.
It's important to know your writing strengths. It's important to know your writing weaknesses. So if you don't know those, like, take some time and evaluate what those are. I do think if you keep a list in your writing journal, which all of you are going to start now, that you'll have a better sense of, oh, look at this weakness I used to have, and I've improved it. I've done the work to try to get better at that thing. I'm so much better than I was. You'll be able to look back years later and say, oh, this is the ladder that I took. This is the journey that I was on to continually get better at my craft. There are 2 questions left to evaluate your year. Number 13, on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with your writing this year? Did you have a great year? Did you get a lot done? Maybe you did a great outline.
I'm actually like a 10 out of 10, guys.
Maybe you got some
like the amount of improvement when you go back and you look at something like ads. Welcome to a talk. But if you go back and you look at the old stories, The Summit, Eternal Darkness, Perilous Botfly, Arden. Yes, Tyler, we are going to read Choke, but I have to read Deja's story first. Then we're reading Choke. So it's going to probably be like another 10 minutes. Because Deja, let's see how long Deja's is. It shouldn't be that long. No. Did you post? Where'd you post it? Where'd you post it to? Oh, it's on my Google Docs. I'm retarded. Okay, don't get distracted. That's what ads are for. Is this it? I think we already read that. Oh, you put it on top? Ah. Is that it? I just want to make sure. Perfect. Perfect. We'll just have to translate that real quick. Can you please translate this to English? Thank you, babe. Okay.
Magazines or newspapers.
I'd
or
say
something.
10 out of 10.
Think about every single category of your writing life and just sort of write down, all right, here's the progress that I made in my life this year. Because otherwise, I find that the writing progress that we make seems to be kind of invisible. You reach the end of the year and you're like, what did I do this year? You look at all the things you didn't accomplish. And really what you should be doing is taking some time to focus on the things that you did accomplish. I mean, maybe your writing year was so-so, right? Maybe you'd rate it a 5 out of 10 or something. But even a 5 out of 10, there are certain successes that you had through this year. And if you rated it something dismal, like a 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 or something, okay, why is that? Like, what happened to make it a 1 or 2 out of 10? And how can you change things so next year you can rate it a 7 out of 10? And lastly, number 14, did you accomplish your writing goals for the year? If you're like me, sometimes your writing goals are a bit too ambitious and you sort of never accomplish them, but still it gives you something to shoot for. I hope that you made perfect writing goals that like you can stretch for, but they're still attainable. I think it's great to have reading goals, writing goals, publishing goals, side project goals, meaning like, oh, I want to get an article written and send it off to this sort of magazine. If you did write down your goals, that's wonderful. You should always write down your writing goals, by the way, so you can look back and be like, oh, that's what I was thinking at the beginning of the year. I don't know what I was thinking, but
there he is. You know, there's the man himself.
Talk about setting
there's
goals
Smokey.
in the next video, so stay tuned.
Smokey, I love you, dude. You're amazing. Welcome, welcome. How's it going, bro? All right, well, we're 4.5 hours into the stream and we just finished the react.